northern.
This is WeatherScope.
A winter storm.
I just want to interrupt. Go ahead.
Let's see if we can both do it again. Ready? Go.
It can never happen again. Not in this universe. Go ahead.
What I was about to say was that there's a winter storm again approaching the Northeast. You know, we talked so much about that, the snow and the ice and the rest of it. Well, it's back. And part of that is still hanging back in the Southwest. They've had some snow in Mississippi tonight.
Yeah.
So we got something to talk about tonight. Welcome to WeatherScope. I'm Dave Schwartz.
So much to talk about. We have to both talk about it at once just to fit it all in. I'm Paul Emick, much of the eastern half of the U.S. You got some nasty weather to talk about, and we're going to start with some pictures from New England. Dave, I'll take care of this one myself.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, I know enough of what's happening here to talk about it.
Looks like snow.
Oh, yeah. Nothing gets past you.
That car.
No, they're actually trying to break in the ice on the car. It's around Worcester. Snow, sleet, freezing rain. You pick an element, it's there throughout the evening. That was an element that could be picked. That was it. It's about 50 miles west of Boston. Worcester, real problematic. Even Chicopee Falls now reporting freezing rain. Wow, I'm talking, it's a wild, wild night in the Northeast. If there is any good news in all of this, the good news is that the areas that had the hard-hit freezing rain, where we're still dealing without power, parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, New York, you know, it was just a mess. The good news is the same spots hit last week are not being hit again tonight with the freezing rain. Some snow, yeah, but not the freezing rain. So some of the hard-hit areas last week getting a bit of a break. Not the case, though, with at least some freezing rain tonight. I mentioned Chicopee Falls. Yeah, we're seeing some of that in parts of Mass. Around Bradley Field and also toward Hartford, it's freezing rain. Toward Providence, rain. Toward the city, rain. But even into parts of Pennsylvania, including around State College, around Penn State right now, freezing rain. Albany, New York, freezing. Even at times you're on Utica. More of this. We'll talk more of that coming up. I do want to talk a bit about what's happening here and why it's happening. That's the big thing. Low pressure. Speaking of big things, it's in place. Low pressure, kind of a moisture magnet. Winds blow from high to low. Low pressure kind of dragging in counterclockwise motion. Ahead of it, head of the front, it can tap the rich source region of some warmth from the south. Pulls in warm air. That means rain. Backside of it draws in cold air. Now, sometimes we have so much cold air aloft, way up there, that's what makes the difference. It falls as snow. It's freezing, the freezing layer, so it falls as snow and makes a total trip. Other times it falls as rain. But as it falls as rain, because it's not cold enough for snow up there, but it falls all the way down to the surface. We have a very shallow layer of cold air in place. That's where we're seeing the freezing rain tonight. That is the deal. For example, 39 in the city, we may see some rain, but we're not going to see freezing rain. Boston, 35, we've been seeing some snow, but again, not freezing rain problems. D.C., 37. Philly, just rain, 44. Where we have the cold temps, that's a different story. For example, Albany, 22 with freezing rain. It looks like the potential for more of it as well. Where you see this pink shading, that's where we're talking about the icing. And again, that does include Albany, and even eventually on at least to the northern parts of Rhode Island and a bit of Massachusetts like Chicopee Falls with the freezing rain now. Snow, though, through Vermont and New Hampshire, and just a bit of ice at times and around State College, as I mentioned. Kind of a wild night and wintry. And so many parts of the Northeast. We've got kind of a close-up look here on a couple of big spots, and not as much happening here tonight. Just mostly some rainfall along the immediate coast, but more snow to come. The highest elevations especially could get maybe in the 3 to 6 inch range. Something else happening tonight, that's in the southeast. With that story, here's Dave Schwartz.
That's right, Paul. There's the southern facet to this storm. We've had soaking rains in Florida and some wintry weather in Tennessee. Here we are in Memphis. You've had a shot of wintry precipitation tonight. The rain you saw earlier turned to sleet and freezing rain. Then about 8 o'clock Central Time, it began snowing. The wintry weather is being felt throughout western Tennessee and into northern Mississippi here tonight. In Florida, much warmer, of course, but still not a good day to be out. This is Plant City, east of Tampa, where we had enough rain to cause some flooding at a couple of intersections here in town. And over in Daytona Beach, record rainfall here today, 2.5 inches, and most of that fell during a 6-hour period this afternoon. And we're still being hit with some very heavy rain heading up toward Orlando into the southern suburbs right now. Looks like Clewiston is getting hit. Avon Park here in central Florida. That will move over Melbourne here shortly. Very heavy rain on the roof. Kind of nice to sleep to as that rain comes down. No severe thunderstorms here. No severe weather has been reported anywhere in Florida, but certainly a very wet night. And then here is our little winter weather maker. This upper level low has a lot of it's cold air. And some of that cold air is coming down with the precipitation. As the precipitation gets heavier, the column of air through which that precipitation is falling cools. And the rain changes to snow, or mixes with snow, or with sleet. Right now in Memphis, it's 31 with some light sleet and snow mix. We're on the cold side of this thing, and I'm afraid on I-40 between Jackson, where there's icing going on, and Memphis, there's some very treacherous driving, and then I-55 southward toward the Greenville and Greenwood exits, there's also some wet snow, so please watch out. Then across the Natchez Trace Parkway here too, in northern Mississippi, some heavy wet snow with the rain and lightning too. This will all move east across Alabama and Georgia here later on tonight and tomorrow. More lightning in Alabama than there is here in Florida. So that's parts 1 and 2 of our eastern storm. Here's part 1 and there is part 2, and this will head right on up. So we're going to be in some very wet, cold, dank, icy